A distant world known as Eternia stands on the edge of destruction. For countless years, two powerful forces have fought over its future. One side is led by the noble champion He-Man, protector of Castle Grayskull and defender of peace. The other is commanded by the ruthless Skeletor, a tyrant whose only goal is absolute power. Their conflict has lasted for years, but now the balance has finally shifted. The story opens with dark skies hanging over Eternia. Smoke rises from burning structures, and Skeletor's soldiers march through the streets. The once beautiful kingdom has fallen under the control of evil forces. Citizens hide in fear while armored troops patrol every corner. The atmosphere immediately tells us that hope is fading. Deep inside Castle Grayskull, Skeletor finally achieves what he has dreamed of for years. He captures the mystical castle that has always symbolized wisdom and ultimate power. The ancient sorceress who protects the castle is imprisoned inside a magical energy field. Even though she remains calm, everyone understands that Eternia has entered its darkest chapter. Skeletor does not stop with military victory. He wants something even greater. He believes that by combining his own dark magic with the ancient power hidden inside Castle Grayskull, he can become unstoppable. His ambition is no longer to rule Eternia alone. He wants to become a godlike being capable of controlling the entire universe. As Skeletor stands before the imprisoned sorceress, he declares that destiny itself belongs to him. His followers cheer while the castle trembles under the weight of dark energy. For the first time, it seems as though evil has completely won. Far away from the castle, however, a small group of survivors is still fighting. He-Man has escaped together with his closest allies. Among them are Man-at-Arms, the brilliant military commander, Teela, one of Eternia's finest warriors, and Gwildor, a clever inventor whose unusual device may become their only hope. Instead of powerful armies, the heroes now travel quietly through forests and hidden pathways. Every movement is dangerous because Skeletor's troops search everywhere. The heroes understand that one mistake could mean the end of the resistance. Gwildor carries a remarkable invention called the Cosmic Key. It is unlike any ordinary weapon. Rather than firing energy blasts, it manipulates space and time through musical tones. When used correctly, it can open portals connecting distant worlds. In the wrong hands, however, it becomes unimaginably dangerous. The hero's immediate goal is simple. They must keep the Cosmic Key away from Skeletor long enough to organize a counterattack. If Skeletor obtains the device, escaping or resisting him may become impossible. As they move through the wilderness, everyone realizes how desperate their situation has become. Supplies are limited. Friendly forces are scattered. Hope depends almost entirely on a handful of exhausted fighters. Meanwhile, inside Castle Grayskull, Skeletor grows impatient. He orders his commanders to locate the missing Cosmic Key at any cost. Elite hunters are dispatched across Eternia. Their mission is straightforward: recover the device and eliminate anyone who stands in the way. The search quickly becomes intense. Patrols sweep forests, villages, mountains, and ancient ruins. Every passing hour increases the pressure on He-Man's group. Eventually, the hunters discover signs of the resistance. A fierce battle erupts among rocky cliffs. Laser weapons flash across the landscape while explosions echo through the valley. He-Man demonstrates why he is considered Eternia's greatest warrior. With incredible strength and determination, he pushes back wave after wave of attackers. Even so, the heroes cannot remain in one place forever. Their enemies continue arriving in greater numbers. The fight becomes less about winning and more about surviving. During the chaos, Gwildor activates the Cosmic Key. Strange glowing symbols appear as the device begins calculating a destination. Bright streams of energy surround the group while reality itself seems to bend. Before everyone can escape together, another attack interrupts the process. Energy blasts strike nearby rocks. The portal becomes unstable. In the confusion, the Cosmic Key slips away from the heroes. Instead of remaining with them, it is accidentally transported elsewhere. No one immediately realizes where it has gone. The surviving heroes barely manage to escape through the portal, but the journey does not end as expected. Something has gone terribly wrong. Instead of arriving safely at their planned destination, events begin unfolding in ways none of them anticipated. At the same time, the lost cosmic key has appeared on an entirely different world, Earth. Two ordinary teenagers, completely unaware of the war raging across the universe, are about to discover an object that will change their lives forever. Neither of them realizes that one small device has brought the fate of Eternia to their quiet town. Kevin and Julie leave the music store with the mysterious device still in their possession. To them, it is nothing more than a strange electronic gadget. They have no idea that two groups from another world are racing toward them from opposite directions. As they walk through the quiet streets, the cosmic key suddenly begins glowing again. Soft musical tones echo from inside the device without anyone touching it. Kevin becomes excited, believing it has activated by itself. Julie, however, starts feeling uneasy. The strange behavior convinces her that this object is unlike anything made on Earth. Not far away, He-Man and his companions continue tracking the energy signal. Gwildor repeatedly checks his instruments, confirming that the cosmic key is only a short distance away. Although Earth appears peaceful, He-Man remains alert. He knows Skeletor's forces are almost certainly nearby. Every minute they spend searching increases the chance of a confrontation. Meanwhile, Skeletor's elite strike team also closes in on the same location. Evil Lynn studies the readings with confidence. She knows the signal is genuine and believes recovering. The cosmic key will finally secure Skeletor's complete victory. The tension builds as both sides unknowingly approach the teenagers from different directions. Kevin and Julie eventually stop near an empty area outside town. Kevin once again experiments with the device, pressing another combination of glowing symbols. This time, the response is much stronger. A bright beam shoots into the sky. The cosmic key releases enough energy for everyone nearby to detect its exact position. Within moments, He-Man reaches the area. Instead of attacking immediately, he calmly approaches Kevin and Julie. The teenagers are shocked by the appearance of a giant warrior carrying an enormous sword and wearing armor unlike anything they have ever seen. At first, Kevin believes He-Man must be wearing some kind of elaborate costume. Julie is less certain. She notices the seriousness in his expression and realizes something dangerous is happening. Before anyone can explain the situation, explosions suddenly erupt nearby. Skeletor's strike team attacks. Energy blasts tear through the darkness. As the elite soldiers surround the area, Kevin and Julie instinctively run for cover. He-Man immediately steps between the attackers and the civilians. The battle begins. He-Man demonstrates extraordinary strength, using his sword to block incoming attacks while protecting Kevin and Julie. Teela joins the fight with remarkable speed and precision, engaging multiple enemies at once. Man-at-Arms provides covering fire and carefully coordinates the group's movements, making sure everyone stays together. Despite their skill, Skeletor's warriors are highly trained. Blade presses forward aggressively, while the others attempt to isolate the teenagers and seize the cosmic key. During the confusion, Kevin accidentally drops the device. Both sides rush toward it. For a brief moment, no one controls the artifact. Julie reaches it first and quickly pulls it away before Skeletor's soldiers can grab it. Realizing the teenagers are terrified and confused, Gwildor finally explains the truth. He tells them the device is called the Cosmic Key and that it is capable of opening portals across the universe. He also reveals that their world has become involved in a war they never knew existed. Kevin and Julie struggle to believe such an incredible story. Everything sounds impossible, but after witnessing laser weapons, alien soldiers, and He-Man's incredible abilities, they slowly accept that the unbelievable is real. The battle continues until local police begin responding to reports of explosions and strange activity. Their arrival complicates the situation. The officers have no idea who the armored warriors are. From their perspective, everyone involved appears suspicious. Rather than risk harming innocent people, He-Man orders his group to retreat. The heroes escape with Kevin and Julie, taking temporary shelter while they plan their next move. Skeletor's soldiers do not consider the encounter a complete failure. Although they failed to recover the cosmic key, they now know exactly who possesses it and where their enemies are hiding. Both sides understand that this was only the The first battle on Earth, the next confrontation, will likely be even more dangerous. As dawn approaches, Kevin and Julie finally begin asking questions. Who is Skeletor? Why is He-Man fighting him? Why is the cosmic key so important? And what happens if Skeletor obtains it? He-Man explains that if Skeletor gains control of both Castle Grayskull and the cosmic key, there may be no force left capable of stopping him. For Kevin and Julie, what began as an ordinary day has become a mission to help save an entire universe. After escaping the first confrontation, He-Man and his companions know they cannot remain in one place for long. Skeletor's warriors have already located them once, and there is little doubt they will attack again. Kevin and Julie lead the group to a place where they believe they can rest without attracting attention. Although they are still overwhelmed by everything they have learned, they realize they cannot simply walk away. Their lives have become tied to the fate of Eternia. Inside the temporary hideout, Gwildor carefully examines the cosmic key. During the earlier battle, the device was damaged. Several of its energy circuits have become unstable, making it impossible to open a reliable portal back to Eternia. This creates a serious problem. Even if the heroes avoid Skeletor's soldiers, they currently have no way to return home. Man-at-Arms studies the damaged device alongside Gwildor. They conclude that replacement components are needed. Unfortunately, those parts do not exist on Earth. They will have to improvise using whatever technology is available. While the heroes discuss their options, Kevin begins asking questions about Eternia. He-Man explains that Eternia has always been a world where courage and responsibility matter more than strength alone. Castle Grayskull represents hope for countless people, and if Skeletor fully controls its ancient power, that hope may disappear forever. Julie listens quietly. The story reminds her of the loss of her own parents. She begins to understand why He-Man refuses to give up, even after suffering so many setbacks. Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Skeletor's strike force reports its failure. Through a communication link, Evil Lynn informs Skeletor that the cosmic key has been found but not recovered. She also reports that He-Man has reached Earth. Skeletor is furious. He reminds his followers that every delay allows the sorceress to resist his attempts to unlock Grayskull's ultimate power. Time is no longer on his side. Instead of accepting excuses, Skeletor gives a new order: capture the humans alive. He believes Kevin and Julie may unknowingly lead his forces directly to the cosmic key if they are separated from He-Man. Back on Earth, local police continue investigating the strange explosions reported the previous night. Officers interview witnesses, but the stories sound unbelievable. Some claim they saw armored warriors firing beams of light. Others insist giant creatures appeared and vanished into thin air. Most investigators assume the witnesses are confused or exaggerating. Only one detective begins wondering whether something much stranger is happening. Later that day, Kevin takes the group to a music and electronics shop, hoping they can find components that might help repair the cosmic key. The heroes are fascinated by everyday Earth technology. Gwildor examines radios, speakers, and electronic circuits with childlike curiosity. He starts comparing Earth's electronics with the advanced systems used on Eternia. Although the equipment is primitive by his standards, he believes some of the parts may still be useful. As repairs begin, Julie notices unfamiliar people watching the store from outside. They are not ordinary customers. They are Skeletor's scouts. Before the heroes can quietly leave, the enemy launches another attack. Energy weapons blast through windows, sending everyone scrambling for cover. Customers panic and flee as the store becomes a battlefield. He-Man immediately engages Blade in a fierce duel. Their weapons clash repeatedly, filling the room with sparks. Outside, Teela and Man-at-Arms fight off the remaining attackers while trying to protect Kevin, Julie, and Gwildor. The battle spills into nearby streets. Passing. Drivers slam on their brakes as flashes of energy light up the night. Earth's civilians have no idea they are witnessing a conflict between warriors from another planet. During the chaos, Gwildor succeeds in recovering the repaired cosmic key. Although it is functioning again, he warns that it is still unstable. They may only have one reliable Opportunity to return to Eternia, the heroes retreat before more enemy reinforcements arrive. Skeletor's strike team once again fails to secure the device, but they manage to gather valuable information. They now know the heroes are trying to repair the cosmic key rather than simply hiding. Back on Eternia, Skeletor becomes increasingly impatient. The mystical energies inside Castle Grayskull continue building, but without the cosmic key, he cannot complete his transformation into an all-powerful ruler. He realizes the next encounter must end differently. Instead of sending another ordinary attack, he begins preparing a far more dangerous strategy, one designed to force He-Man into a final confrontation on Skeletor's terms. Meanwhile, He-Man gathers his allies. He tells them they cannot keep running forever. The only way to save Eternia is to return home, rescue the sorceress, and challenge Skeletor before it is too late. Kevin and Julie exchange nervous looks. Only a day earlier, they were worrying about ordinary problems. Now they are preparing to travel across the universe and fight in a battle that will decide the future of an entire world. As the heroes leave the electronics store, they know they have very little time left. Gwildor has managed to repair the cosmic key enough for it to function, but he warns everyone that the device is still unstable. One mistake during activation could send them to the wrong destination or leave them stranded forever. He-Man decides the group should avoid crowded areas and wait until they can safely open another portal. Every member of the team understands that Skeletor's forces will continue searching until they recover the cosmic key. Meanwhile, back on Eternia, Skeletor grows even more impatient. Inside Castle Grayskull, the imprisoned sorceress continues resisting his attempts to unlock the castle's ultimate power. Although weakened, she refuses to surrender. Her determination frustrates Skeletor, who expected complete control by now. Instead of launching another direct assault, Skeletor changes his strategy. He realizes that defeating He-Man in battle is difficult. Attacking the people He-Man is trying to protect may prove far more effective. He orders Evil Lyn and the strike team to capture Kevin and Julie alive. Once they have hostages, He-Man will have no choice but to surrender. On Earth, Kevin and Julie begin to realize how dangerous the situation has become. Only a day earlier, they were ordinary teenagers planning their future. Now they are hiding from soldiers from another planet. Kevin admits that he still finds it difficult to believe everything happening around him. Julie reminds him that after everything they have witnessed, denying reality is no longer possible. As they continue moving through town, police officers notice the unusual group. The officers stop them for questioning. After receiving reports about strange disturbances connected to people wearing armor, Man-at-Arms quietly advises everyone to remain calm. Drawing attention to themselves would only make their situation worse. Before the conversation can continue, bright flashes of light suddenly appear nearby. Skeletor's strike force has found them again. Energy blasts erupt across the area, forcing civilians to run for safety. The police officers are completely unprepared for what they see. Their weapons are useless against the advanced armor and technology carried by Skeletor's soldiers. Without hesitation, He-Man steps forward to defend the officers as well as his own companions. A fierce battle begins. Blade charges directly toward He-Man, determined to keep him occupied. At the same time, Karg and Saurod move toward Kevin and Julie, hoping to seize the cosmic key before anyone can escape. Teela intercepts them, preventing the soldiers from reaching the teenagers. The fight spreads across the surrounding streets, with explosions and flying debris creating panic among everyone nearby. During the confusion, Gwildor attempts to activate the cosmic key. The device begins producing its familiar musical tones as glowing symbols race across its surface. For a brief moment, it appears that the heroes are about to escape. Then disaster strikes. An enemy attack interrupts the activation sequence. The portal collapses before it fully opens. The unstable cosmic key overloads, forcing Gwildor to shut it down before it destroys itself completely. Their only chance of returning to Eternia has failed. Realizing the battle is turning against them, He-Man orders another retreat. The heroes manage to escape, but not without consequences. Skeletor's forces have learned an important fact. The cosmic key is unstable, and the heroes are running out of opportunities to use it. Back inside Castle Grayskull, Skeletor receives the latest report. Although disappointed that the cosmic key was not recovered, he senses that victory is close. He believes He-Man is becoming exhausted. Sooner or later, the hero will make a mistake. Skeletor prepares for the final phase of his plan. Rather than chasing He-Man endlessly across Earth, he intends to lure him into one decisive confrontation where escape will be impossible. Meanwhile, He-Man gathers everyone together. He explains that continuing to hide is no longer enough. If they delay much longer, the sorceress may lose the strength to resist Skeletor's growing power. The group agrees that they must repair the cosmic key one final time and return to Eternia. No matter the risk, Kevin and Julie look at each other. They understand that once they step through that portal, they will leave the safety of Earth behind and enter a war unlike anything they could have imagined. With the enemy closing in and time running out, the stage is set for the final journey back to Eternia. After narrowly escaping another attack, the group hides in an abandoned area outside the town. Everyone is exhausted. He-Man knows they cannot keep fighting on Earth forever. Every moment they remain away from Eternia gives Skeletor more time to strengthen his control over Castle Grayskull. Gwildor places the cosmic key on the ground and carefully examines its damaged circuits one last time. Using the replacement parts he collected on Earth, he manages to stabilize the device just enough for a single jump. He warns everyone that they may not get another chance. Kevin and Julie exchange nervous glances. Only a short time ago, they were living ordinary lives. Now they are preparing to travel across the universe into the middle of a war. He-Man thanks them for their courage. He explains that heroes are not defined by where they come from, but by the choices they make. When others need help, Gwildor begins entering the coordinates for Eternia. The cosmic key lights up once again, the familiar musical. Tones grow louder as rings of blue and golden lights surround the group. A swirling portal forms in front of them. Without hesitation, He-Man steps through first. The others follow close behind, a world changed by darkness. When the portal closes behind them, the group finds itself back on Eternia. The planet looks far, different than when they left. Smoke hangs over the horizon. Ancient buildings lie in ruins. Skeletor's banners fly above cities that once belonged to the kingdom. Patrols of armored soldiers march through the streets, searching for any remaining resistance fighters. Kevin and Julie are shocked by the destruction. Until now, they had only heard stories about Skeletor's conquest. Seeing the devastation with their own eyes makes the threat feel real. The group moves carefully through hidden passages to avoid enemy patrols. Everywhere they look, they see evidence of fear. Families remain hidden inside damaged homes. Former soldiers whisper quietly, afraid of being discovered. Hope appears almost gone. Castle Grayskull, under Skeletor's control high above the land. Castle Grayskull stands beneath dark skies. Inside its massive halls, Skeletor prepares for the final stage of his plan. The sorceress remains trapped within a powerful energy prison. Although weakened, she refuses to surrender the castle's deepest secrets. Her resistance continues, slowing Skeletor's transformation. Frustrated, Skeletor decides the time has come to end the struggle. Using the growing power of Grayskull, he performs an ancient ritual. Dark energy flows through the castle. Lightning flashes across the sky. The walls themselves begin shaking as mystical power gathers around him. His followers kneel, believing they are witnessing the birth of an unstoppable ruler, a desperate rescue plan. Meanwhile, He-Man and his allies reach a hidden resistance shelter. Several loyal warriors who escaped Skeletor's conquest are waiting there. Although their numbers are small, they have not abandoned hope. The survivors welcome He-Man with relief. For the first time since the invasion, they believe victory may still be possible. Man-at-Arms quickly studies maps of Castle Grayskull. The group discusses several possible ways to enter the fortress. Every option is dangerous. Enemy patrols guard every entrance. The castle's defenses have been strengthened. If they attack openly, they will almost certainly be overwhelmed. He-Man decides there is only one choice. They must launch a direct rescue mission before Skeletor completes his transformation. Skeletor learns the truth before the heroes can move. One of Skeletor's scouts discovers evidence that the cosmic key has returned to Eternia. The information reaches Evil Lyn almost immediately. She reports to Skeletor. Instead of becoming angry, Skeletor smiles. He expected He-Man to return. In fact, he has been waiting for exactly this moment. Rather than hunting his enemy across two worlds, He-Man has now walked directly into his territory. Skeletor orders every available soldier to prepare for battle. No one is allowed to leave. Castle Grayskull alive, preparing for the final battle. As darkness falls over Eternia, He-Man gathers his companions. He thanks Kevin and Julie for risking everything to help people they had never met. Although frightened, both teenagers insist they will stay until the mission is complete. Each member of the group checks their weapons and equipment one final time. Everyone understands what lies ahead. The next battle will decide not only the future of Eternia, but also whether Skeletor's power spreads beyond the planet itself. Far above them, Castle Grayskull glows with an eerie light as thunder echoes across the mountains. He-Man raises his sword and looks toward the fortress. Without another word, the heroes begin their march toward the castle, fully aware that many of them may never return. As night falls over Eternia, He-Man and his companions begin their approach to Castle Grayskull. The fortress stands high above the surrounding landscape, surrounded by cliffs and heavily guarded by Skeletor's soldiers. Dark clouds gather overhead, and flashes of lightning illuminate the castle's towering walls. The resistance fighters move carefully through hidden paths that avoid the main patrols. Man-at-Arms leads the way, relying on his knowledge of the castle's defenses. Teela scouts ahead while Gwildor carries the cosmic key, protecting it as though the fate of the universe rests in his hands. Kevin and Julie remain close behind. Although they have no military training, they refuse to abandon their new friends. Entering the castle, the group reaches one of the castle's lesser-used entrances. The passage is old and partially damaged from previous battles, but it still provides a way inside. Everyone enters quietly. Inside the castle, the atmosphere feels completely different than before. The once bright halls are now dark and silent. Torches burn with an eerie glow, and Skeletor's banners hang where the symbols of Eternia once stood. The heroes move carefully through the corridors, avoiding groups of guards whenever possible. For a while, everything goes according to plan. Then an alarm suddenly echoes through the castle. One of Skeletor's patrols discovers the intruders. Within seconds, soldiers begin rushing toward their location. The battle begins. He-Man immediately orders the others to continue toward the sorceress, while he holds back the advancing guards. A fierce battle erupts in the castle corridors. Enemy soldiers attack from every direction. He-Man uses his sword to drive them back, creating enough time for his companions to continue deeper into the fortress. Teela and Man-at-Arms fight beside him, preventing the soldiers from surrounding the group. Kevin and Julie stay close to Gwildor, protecting the cosmic key while trying to avoid the fighting. Although the heroes defeat several waves of guards, more enemies continue arriving. It becomes clear that the castle is fully alert. The sorceress, after fighting their way through several chambers, the group finally reaches the room where the sorceress is imprisoned. She remains trapped inside a powerful energy field. Even after everything Skeletor has done, she remains calm. She immediately recognizes He-Man and encourages him to continue fighting. Gwildor examines the magical prison. He quickly realizes that ordinary weapons cannot destroy it. Only the proper combination of the cosmic key's energy can disable the barrier. Working carefully, he begins adjusting the device. The glowing symbols change as the cosmic key responds. Slowly, The energy prison starts weakening. Just as the barrier begins to collapse, a powerful voice fills the chamber. Skeletor appears the enormous doors. Open. Skeletor enters surrounded by his elite warriors. His appearance is far more intimidating than before. Dark magical energy surrounds him, showing that he has already absorbed much of Castle Grayskull's power. He looks directly at He-Man. Rather than attacking immediately, Skeletor calmly tells him that the battle is already over. According to Skeletor, Eternia belongs to him now and no one can change that. He offers He-Man one final opportunity to surrender. He-Man refuses without hesitation. The final confrontation begins. Skeletor raises his hand. A surge of magical energy fills the room. His soldiers charge forward. Another massive battle begins. Inside Castle Grayskull, Tila and Man-at-Arms engage Skeletor's guards while Gwildor struggles. To complete the sorceress's rescue, Kevin and Julie help protect the cosmic key from enemy soldiers trying to seize it. Meanwhile, He-Man advances directly toward Skeletor. The two lifelong enemies finally stand face to face inside the heart of Castle Grayskull. Everyone in the room understands that the outcome of this duel will determine the future of Eternia. He-Man raises his sword, and Skeletor gathers dark magical power. The decisive battle is about to begin. Inside the Great Hall of Castle Grayskull, the battle reaches its most dangerous stage. Energy flashes fill the chamber as He-Man and Skeletor finally confront one another directly. Around them, Tila, Man-at-Arms, Gwildor, Kevin, and Julie continue fighting Skeletor's elite guards. The castle itself seems alive. Ancient columns shake, magical energy crackles through the air, and every clash echoes through the enormous hall. He-Man versus Skeletor. He-Man charges first, hoping to end the fight before Skeletor's growing magical power becomes unstoppable. Skeletor responds by unleashing powerful blasts of dark energy. Instead of relying only on weapons, he uses the mystical power of Castle Grayskull itself. Each attack forces He-Man to dodge or block while trying to close the distance. The duel becomes a contest between physical strength and overwhelming magic. He-Man repeatedly advances despite the attacks, refusing to give Skeletor time to complete his transformation. The battle around them elsewhere in the chamber. Tila and Man-at-Arms continue fighting Skeletor's soldiers. They manage to push several guards back, but more enemies keep arriving. Kevin and Julie stay close to Gwildor, protecting him while he works with the cosmic key. Gwildor realizes that freeing the sorceress completely is just as important as defeating Skeletor. Without her, the castle's balance cannot be restored. As he carefully adjusts the cosmic key, the magical prison surrounding the sorceress begins to weaken. The glowing barrier flickers. Small cracks of light appear across its surface. Skeletor grows stronger. Seeing the prison beginning to fail, Skeletor becomes furious. He abandons his guards and focuses entirely on He-Man. Drawing even more power from Castle Grayskull, Skeletor launches a devastating magical assault. The force throws He-Man backward across the chamber. For a brief moment, it appears that the hero has finally been defeated. The resistance fighters watch helplessly as Skeletor slowly approaches his fallen. Enemy Skeletor confidently declares that no one can stop him. Now, a final effort despite his injuries, He-Man refuses to surrender. He slowly rises to his feet. His determination inspires everyone around him. At the same moment, Gwildor successfully completes the Cosmic Key's sequence. The prison surrounding the sorceress collapses. She is finally free. Immediately, the balance of magical power inside Castle Grayskull begins to change. The dark energy that had strengthened Skeletor becomes unstable. The sorceress uses her remaining strength to weaken his control over the castle. The decisive duel. Realizing this is his final opportunity, He-Man attacks once more. The two enemies exchange their fiercest blows of the entire story. Skeletor continues using powerful magic, but his control is no longer complete. He-Man gradually forces him backward toward the central platform inside the castle. The struggle reaches its climax. With one final attack, He-Man overcomes Skeletor's defenses. The Dark Ruler loses his balance and is defeated, ending his attempt to claim the limitless power of Castle Grayskull. Peace returns. As Skeletor falls, the dark energy surrounding the castle begins to disappear. The violent storms over Eternia slowly fade. The halls of Castle Grayskull return to normal as the ancient power is restored. Skeletor's surviving followers retreat after seeing their leader defeated. Across Eternia, hope begins returning. The resistance fighters realize that the long war is finally over, saying goodbye with the kingdom safe again. Kevin and Julie prepare to return home. Although they arrived on Eternia by accident, they played an important role in saving the planet. He-Man thanks them for their courage and friendship. The cosmic key is activated. One final time, a portal opens back to Earth. Kevin and Julie say goodbye to their new friends before stepping through the portal. Moments later, they find themselves back in their hometown, where life appears normal once again. Although their incredible adventure is over, they know they have witnessed something few people would ever believe. The ending back on Eternia, the sorceress resumes her role as the guardian of Castle Grayskull. The kingdom begins rebuilding after Skeletor's defeat. He-Man, Teela, Man-at-Arms, and Gwildor look toward a brighter future, knowing that peace has been restored for now. However, the film closes with a brief hint that evil may not be gone forever, suggesting that Skeletor's story could continue in the future.